with the board against the car, the board fell over and broke the mirror. And the board's stuck in the mirror. So there's like a ding in the rail from the mirror. Boom. Sorry, the heater's on. The car gets kind of hot, so we need a new radiator. But just got a new windshield. Like, I got it at the dump, picture park. No cracks. You guys have a good day?
Yeah.
Pretty good?
Good.
We went to Laguna. It's pretty nice. Kind of mellow. Not very many people. It's really windy though. This is like the best van for Sano though. Like such a good Sano van, you know? I don't have a third seat, so I can't bring Ryder in it. So I need to put another, I think I'm gonna take this out and put a seat right here. Or maybe like put mounts and a seat right there so I can put them in the car seat. And then this would be good, you know? But I don't know, I keep going to like get rid of this, sell it. Kind of a lot of rust. So, yeah, I think water from the leak. It's like always something, you know? But it runs pretty good. Yeah, I'm JJ Wessels. I was born and raised in Southern California, specifically in the South Bay, Torrance, California. And then when I was in 5th grade, I moved to San Juan Capistrano, where I live now. I started surfing when I was in high school, actually kind of late, maybe sophomore summer, so 15, 16. My dad was a surfer, but I really got into it, like right around when the surf film The Seedling came out. Thomas Campbell lived in Dana Point and was filming with a lot of guys, a couple Japanese guys, Seitaro Nakamura and a couple other guys, and I remember surfing Doheny and seeing him filming in the water. And that kind of inspired me to get into longboarding. It was kind of a really good time for that style of surfing to kind of come back. And then kind of seeing what Donald Takayama was doing in Oceanside, guys like Mitch Absher, Devin Howard, Joel Tudor, kind of that generation was very influential to my surfing. Yeah, I think I often describe myself kind of as a contractor. My dad was a carpenter, worked with his hands, loved to make things, build things, work on things. And I think now for me, it's similar. I like to create things. Surfing is kind of a catalyst to being creative for me, but then also being creative is a catalyst to being a surfer. So depending on the job or opportunity, kind of, I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase like jack of all trades, master of none. Kind of feel like I fit in that lane of someone that can wear different hats and have kind of an ability to some degree to kind of do a little bit of everything. But I think for me as a surfer, I've always approached surfing from the lens of creativity, and really enjoyed being someone who is inspired by others, but also very aware of like who I am, and like just staying in my lane and enjoying kind of watching other people that inspire me, and just being around them. Kind of for me, living here has been, I think, a big part of that ethos of what I would say I do for a living, because there's so many great surfers around me that I can kind of glean from, people I've been able to kind of almost have kind of apprenticeship with, like Brian Ben or Mitch Absher, or some of my peers like Tyler Warren or Robbie Keegle or Alex Nost. Or these guys are all very good friends. When we surf together, there's this kind of respect between each other that has really helped kind of keep me on this path and still enjoy surfing. Really, that's what I want to do, is surf. I try to be in the right place at the right time. Try to surf when the waves are good, and be creative when the waves are not as good. Also, kind of skateboarding fits in there a little. I don't skate as much as I used to, but still just love being active. So I think that's a big part of my profession. Also, my occupation is just staying productive, busy, working hard. I mean, beach days to me is it's got the newness of a brand that has so much potential to be. This is an exciting place. Like, there's so many ways you can go, and it's a really fun time to be a part of something where it's maybe a couple people in the conversation. So it's small enough to where you can kind of plan things, and there isn't a lot of pressure to have to go through many different channels. It's kind of, I think, the brand and the product, and kind of it's at a very fun stage as a business, and as a brand. I think everyone that sees the stuff that I bring to the beach, or that I have been able to test and take pictures of and create with, everybody says, "Whoa, where did you get this? Where did you?" They think, I've been asked by many people, "Is this your brand, or how do you fit into this?" And it's just cool to just kind of reflect a little bit and say, "No, this isn't my brand. It's a very good friend of mine's, and this product is all very well made, and it's being produced, kind of mostly and sold in Japan," and kind of explain that to people, that it's coming from a place that I respect quite a bit. So it's easier to not be salesman that way here in America. Like, I'm not trying to sell them the product. I'm just saying, this is a really cool beach days chair, or this is a cool beach days towel, or trunks, or whatever. Okay, this is my new Beach Days model, the Commoner. It's based off of a longboard that I built in my basement for my wife. Similar to kind of, I guess I'd say, my version of a nose rider. Wide tail block, kind of flipped up tail, concave to about halfway. A little beyond midpoint. I like my longboards a little shorter. My wife is smaller. She's only 5'7", 5'6", 5'7", and so I've always made her boards like 9'4", 9'5" range, and surfing with her so much, I've had the opportunity to ride a lot of the boards I've made her, and so I started liking smaller longboards. They feel like they turn a little bit better. for me, and also, the feeling of a heavy log is great for waves that kind of are slower and easy to get to. But if you have to walk far or carry things, I like boards a little bit lighter, like this. This has got good weight, pretty easy to carry, not 9.4. I feel like this board's going to be like a really fun kind of version of like a nose rider that I'd ride. Yeah, and so yeah, it's kind of got orange bottom, kind of, I guess you'd say cream color deck, and kind of Beach Days Aquatic Division logo, and board's name is the Commoner. The Commoner means kind of like, I think, in my opinion, it's kind of like something that describes a bit of everyone, kind of, it's like all-encompassing. So a kind of idea behind name for me was this board is gonna nose ride, but also short enough to turn, kind of just all-around longboard. It's kind of always my goal. Never want to make a board too much of nose rider, too much turning, kind of too much trimming. Kind of want a board that you can ride in any condition. So that's kind of idea behind the name, is that you can ride it on the common day, kind of anytime. It's pretty good. I can read that in Japanese. Mitch Apsher and I have been friends now really since the beginning of Captain Finn. The early days of Captain Finn were, it kind of was three guys, Mitch Apsher, Jay Acuna, and CJ Nelson. And I remember seeing them at the beach, starting kind of talking about the brand, and at that time they were surfing Sano a fair amount. So it was just kind of cool, because that was a place that I kind of started to gravitate towards as a surfer, because we had San Clemente had a longboard magazine, a lot of good longboarders at the school. I went to high school there, so I started going down to Sano because all my friends wanted to go there, and so I started seeing Mitch. I started seeing CJ and Jay and guys that were kind of in that very influential phase of their surfing careers, and then the surfers. So Mitch and I kind of met in the water at Sano, and then we started kind of working together on a fin, and then he opened Captain's Helm and was living in Oceanside. So we kind of surfed a lot together. We started kind of hanging out, surfing, and then I started getting more involved with kind of some photography for the brand and helping him a little bit there too. So we started kind of talking creatively a little bit back and forth. And so I kind of got acquainted through surfing with him. But then also, he's lived in California most of his life, and just recently now living in Tennessee. But we just had a lot of the same friends, a lot of people we knew that we didn't know we all knew each other. Brian Bent was kind of one of those guys that Mitch had worked with and knew for a long time, and I was close to Brian Bent, so that was kind of another connection. And Scotty Stopnick, and kind of all these people became a big part of of the culture of surfing at that time. And then Mitch got sponsored by Hurley, and so did I, and so did Scotty, and so we all kind of worked for Hurley. So that was part of our, kind of traveling together and surfing together, and so yeah, it's been he's one of my best friends. And I know it sounds kind of cheesy, but I have this green stripe on the van, and I want to put a green stripe on the board. And Mitch was like, "Oh yeah, I think I got you." And so Mitch kind of was the guy that laid up this style stripe, which is so cool. And so I told him, this is the Tradesman, kind of named after not just the van, Chris Christensen and I built this together. This is the first hand shape that Chris built for me, and the idea for the name kind of came from having a Tradesman. This is a B300. It's the longest version of this van, and kind of a cruiser, you know. So I thought, oh, this would be cool. Like, we'll make a log, get Chris to make a model that I could call a daily rider. That was the idea of, like, I want to ride this every day. So I was really excited about building this, and so we kind of came up with a name, and then I started thinking kind of a list of names. I was like, Tradesman's cool. Then I started thinking about my dad growing up. He was a tradesman. He was a contractor. He worked super hard on houses and things. So I was like, okay, that's what we're gonna call it. Chris liked it, so we've kind of run with it. This board, when I first got it, I was so excited to try it and picked it up, and one of the shop kids got on it before I did. It was super cool to have like feedback from someone before I rode it. Kind of, oh yeah, it turns so good. Yeah, you know, kind of had high marks for the board, and that's been kind of the most important thing for me, is getting other people's opinion. So my friend who also rides for Chris, Clovis, he's from the Basque Country, and he got to try it when he came here last trip. And, you know, kind of talking to him too, like just getting feedback from all these guys that I respect as surfers, and trying to better understand what like a board would be, or kind of what a board. I'm trying to make an all-around board. That's what the Tradesman is, kind of all-around style. You know, daily rider, as I say it, but something that nose rides well, turns well, and trims well. That's been the goal from the beginning. So, you know, I think all in all, I've been fortunate to work with such a great shaper like Chris, and have, you know, kind of his years of experience to be able to make a board. Yeah. Well, I just want to say a couple of things. Looking here at the Commoner coming out in April, the Tradesman already out, and I just would love to hear some of your thoughts on the Tradesman. Please direct message me on Instagram. I'd love to kind of just hear what you think of the board, and you know, kind of what you think we could change if there's something we needed to, in the sense of you know, something that you ride every day. I'd really like to hear more people saying this is my favorite board and I want to ride it all the time. And it just, you know, thanks for I don't know, just thanks for kind of listening to this, and thanks for being a fan of surfing, and keep surfing. It's just awesome that we have a community all over the world, that we all share something that's so special, and I'm super grateful and hope to surf in Japan. Been to Japan many times, never gotten good waves. So it'd be really cool to come sometime when waves are good and surf with you guys. So until then, thanks.